Hi, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, The Joyful Pilgrim, welcome. My name is Nellie. I am a joyful pilgrim. I've been on the spiritual pilgrimage a long time. It's my great obsession. My devotion is to the spiritual path and to honoring all the different ways we all learn to love, to be loved, to bring love. Last time, remember, we spoke about Kabir and that crazy line out of his poetry translated by Daniel Ladinsky. A fish who is thirsty in the ocean needs serious psychological help. That was from a poet saint about 400 or 500 years ago named Kabir. And today we're going to look at one sentence or two from a poet we all love very much. He's extremely well known, and his name is Rumi, Jalaluddin Rumi. He's been translated so many times and in so many languages because he reminds us of a relationship between ourself and God. Now today, I'm just going to look at a couple phrases that I think might help us in these days when we have lots of storms and it may be very overcast. And sometimes we feel as cloudy and maybe even a little melancholy. Rumi looks at the symbol of the sun as a way to describe his beloved God, also his teacher Shams. Because Shams, who was his great spiritual mentor and teacher, was the sun to him because it brought him to God. Not the God of the intellect, but the God he came to know in his heart by being in love with Shams, his teacher. Shams inspired this deep devotion that came in the form of longing for God, to be in union with God. Everything we think we want in the world is really hiding this longing for who we are, remembrance of God, however you call that God. For Rumi, it was the beloved, and he saw him as the Son. A son of God might be seen then as a ray of this light, the ray of God's infinite light and love that is here within our heart as even just a ray. If it's a ray of the infinite, it is still infinite. Rumi wrote, "The sun doesn't look to the earth and say, 'You owe me.' Think of what a love like that can do. It can light up the sky. The sun, the symbol of God, never says to the earth, 'All creatures dependent upon that.' The sun never says to the earth, 'You owe me.' Think of what a love like that can do. It can light up the sky. I want us to consider that we can be that lit within, not dependent on any outer condition. It looks very dark and dreary sometimes in the world, sometimes in the mirror, sometimes in our families. But when we turn inward, when we take this break and we tap in to this remembrance of this infinite light that loves us, asking nothing of us, you see what happens? The light within you is sparked. It's always there. But now you remember it. That's remembrance. Oh, yes. I don't need to ask the world to bring me light. I don't need to ask my spouse, my children, and all these circumstances to change so that I'm happy. I can bring the light to to them, which brings it to me. This infinite light, this sun that they in the Quran describe as God. And we can be like the moon, and we become a full moon when we just step out without any shadow or obscuration and say, I am here, I remember, I am willing. Yes, just once again, I want to remind you, there are so many people crying out for light. And when we sit and we kindle the light within us, we become like that sun. And we bring it to others. And we don't ask for anything in return. Now that's very important. The sun never says to the earth, you owe me. We just shine. Look what can be done with a love like that. It can fill the sky. And we can do that. We can fill the sky-like spaciousness, which means the shadows, now they just dissolve, don't they? As we sit together, I hope you're relaxing and you're nodding to yourself, saying, yes, I can do this. Yes, I remember who I am. Yes, as I remember who you are and they are in this infinite space of light. And even when it appears there is no sunlight and there are a lot of clouds and storms that appear in many different forms, it doesn't change the nature of the sun itself. It doesn't change the nature of God and therefore of who you really are. That light in you is you. It is in all others. And today, may we remember that. And so I wish you a light-filled day. I was going to say a fulfilled day. Doing what you came to do, being a light in the world. Thank you for joining us on this channel. Please like and subscribe and share your light with all others without exception. Namaste.